God's hype girl is back, baby. Let me tell you, I'm here to hype you up about a relationship with God. Like, if you don't have a relationship with God, don't let me come for you. You need Him. This life is just too hard, guys. We need God. We need God. We need God every second, every moment. I even started my fasting again. I'm going from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. just so I can tackle some weaknesses going on with your girl here. Did I say, God, no shame, guys. No shame whatsoever to say, God, I need you every moment, every second. God, I need you. And that's where our greatest strength lies, guys, knowing that we need God, guys. We need Him. This life is just too difficult. I was telling my brother Kevin about a rock bottom moment for me. And what the Muslim pastor explained to me is that God was the one who created the rock bottom. Like, He designed the rock bottom to happen so that we can wake up to our lives, guys. And that's exactly what happened. What happened with me? The rock bottom came, and I was so low, guys. I formed a whole support group for myself. Crazy lady here say, look, guys, I need you, man. I need your support right now. And the support group has just been with me now, guys, and been helping me. For over a year now, they put up with me, guys. And it was just designed by God to get me where He wants me to be. He wants me here with you, telling you, don't miss out on a life with Him. Okay, that's my assignment from Him, to tell you that He's with you, man. Every moment, every second, we can lean on Him. We can depend on Him. We can count on Him. He's our greatest friend. But like Carrie taught me, he's like, God is always talking to us all day, giving us all these signs. He said, God will give you updates throughout the day. So here's how God spoke to me yesterday with this update. I needed to talk to my husband about something important. But in my spirit, God said, Nick, don't call him now, call him later. So I ended up calling hubby later. And honestly, he talked to me so good. He started asking me some questions. And at the end of it, all I could do is say, thank you, honey, thank you, honey, thank you, honey. Because I was about to go down the wrong path, you know? But as I was talking to hubby, let me just explain to you how these updates that Carrie was talking about, how God communicates with us. So I told you guys about my sales manager, George, at the office. So he came up with this sheet. And it just so happened that I'm talking to my husband. I'm right in front of the sheet with George Design. And on it, George had $1,000 written like really big on this sheet. So as I'm talking to my husband, he's asking me, Nikki, what's the price of an iPhone 15? And I said, it's like $1,000, honey. He said, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? I said, honey, that's the only phone that I use. I know the price. And as I'm telling, and he kept insisting, you sure, Nikki? Is it $1,000? Is it $1,000? I said, yeah, honey, that's how much an iPhone is going to cost. At the same time, God is taking me to that sheet from George with the 1,000 written bold on it. So in that moment, hubby is telling me about the $1,000 on the sheet. God was communicating with me. And he was saying, Nick, I'm with you. You keep being the wife that I'm calling you to be on the highest road, just being still and knowing that I am in control of everything and everyone. So I know you guys are probably saying, Nikki is crazy. She's thinking that God is speaking to her because her husband said 1,000 and there was 1,000 on the sheet, right? Fast forward, I get to my tree today. So at the tree, I get there, it was 43 minutes past the hour. So I go to page 43 of our family's website. Can you believe the exact thing happened with me, with hubby, like a couple of years ago? I'm on the phone with him, wanting to explode with him, you know, and tell him everything that was on my mind, why I was upset with him. But he said to me on the phone, he was in Nigeria, I was here, he said, Nikki, I spoke to your mom for over an hour yesterday. And as he was saying that, God took my attention to a license plate at the dentist's office. I was with my kids that had mom in it. So as my husband said mom, the license plate said mom. And again, it was God saying, Nick, shh, I'm right here with you. And so for that 1,000 to happen yesterday, and I felt it was God, like no doubt. And for him to take me to that story with the mom lining up perfectly, again, it was just God letting me know that's a way that he communicates with me. And when you hear from God and you have his presence with you guys, what else do you need? Knowing, this is what Carrie hypes me up about, that you have the creator who created the sun and the moon walking with you every moment, every second. It's just for us to get to know his voice. Nobody can tell me that $1,000 just lined up just perfectly with hubby on the phone and this thing from George exactly where I was standing to take that call with hubby. So God will find out all these different ways to communicate with us, guys. I was even by that tree crying, guys, crying. I was crying because there was a story of how God communicated to me. I'm in Nigeria. My daughter Julie is here. And God told me to get her in this college, early entrance college thing, that she could spend her last year of high school in college. And it was in Nigeria that God told me and whispered to me, get Julie in that program. And he said, don't trust Julie to get herself in. You send the email. And honestly, that has led our family on this extraordinary path, guys. I'm just looking back in amazement. In amazement of how God is so intimately involved in our lives and how he sees things and exceeds anything we could ask for or imagine. You know, Julie going to that college for her last year, what it did, it boosted her GPA. So she got accepted to this top university in New York, and they gave her this nice scholarship package that has taken our family completely and totally out of our comfort zone. You know it is to have some fierce daughters, guys, that take you out of your comfort zone. That's what God did, guys, by getting Julie into that early entrance college program. So, moral of the story, God is always, always, always talking to us. And yes, sometimes he gives us difficulty. Yes, sometimes he designs things, bad stuff, so-called bad stuff, to happen to wake us up to our lives and to get closer to him. So what I'm doing now, because I say, Nick, I'm sick of you being this person. So I started this fasting to say whenever my mind goes in the wrong place, I could have a little fun with God. And I'd say, God, what's going on with you, girl? Help me. Like, no shame, guys. With God's strength, we can do all things. So all the crazy and useless battles I be fighting up here, I gotta say bye-bye, and I gotta focus on being the woman what my brother Kevin has been training me to be. He said, Nix, I want you to be wise. Okay, so that conversation with hubby yesterday was all designed by God to let your girl here know that he's with me, and he just gave me the best hubby in the world, guys. The best family in the world, you know? So these are happy tears, guys. And I don't want you guys to miss out on all this love from God. You know, you should see me dancing out there on my run today after I felt like God showing up. I'm crying to him, thanking him for getting Julie to that early entrance college and taking us on this like extraordinary path. Like this shirt here, Julie got me this shirt at this diner in New York, and we had an important conversation about how we're going to make the greatest impact in the world on behalf of God. So I told them today, but the support group, that hey, even if it's just a millimeter, I'm going to take humanity closer to God, starting with you. So let's Forget the past, guys. That's another thing that showed up under the tree. Like, God is doing a new thing for us. Things that we can't even imagine. So we just have to keep our eyes fixed on him every moment, every second, getting closer to him. So I want us all finishing this year closer to God, okay? So tell God, I want to finish 23 closer to you than ever before. And just seeking his wisdom, his guidance for every moment of our lives. The prayer with hubby today under the tree was, honey, I just want to thank God for his presence with us and for giving us the strength to do all that he's called us to do in the world, guys. Okay? So the best prayer I said 15 years ago or over 15 years ago was, God, I want a closer walk with you. And honestly, he hasn't disappointed me. Me forming that support group was just him taking me to a new realm of closeness with him, because I started listening to the messages from Carrie every day. Every day I have church from Carrie, and Carrie just empowers me, man, that I can show up here and empower you guys to say, don't miss out on the best life with God. Tell him today is the day. I want to walk closer with you. And even if we fall a million times, crazy lady here, we keep getting back up. Keep our eyes focused on God. We got to have this tunnel vision, guys. Tunnel vision, and focus on what God has called us to do, and keep our eyes on the prize and whatever God has called us to do. Okay? So let's get closer to God.